Night games, he will not go. And just to belabor this whole point about there's going to be a whole lot of scoring in this game, you got to understand something. Since 1970, 6 different QBs have thrown 5 touchdown passes in a game twice in a season. Of those 6, 2 of them are this game here tonight. Dante Culpepper, Peyton Manning. Not a whole lot of defense, if you know what I'm saying. Ed Werder, speak the word about this game.
Well, Stuart, 2 bad defenses, and Peyton Manning and Dante Culpepper lead their conferences in passing yards and touchdowns. So tonight it's the first one to score 50 wins, right? Well, maybe not for the Vikings. For the first time all season, they have reason to doubt their ability to win a scoring contest against the Colts, and that's because for the first time in his NFL career, Randy Moss won't play because of a strained hamstring, and without him, the Vikings simply haven't had their big play offense.
It's one of those things, man, you really can't explain it. Your offense is totally different. It makes a ton of difference when he's not in.
When Randy's on the field, we're really playing offense against 8.5 guys, because 2.5 are on Randy at all times.
Oftentimes when Randy's on my side, I'm in the slot, you know, some DBs look a little shook up. But when he's out, I think they kind of get a little excited, you know, thinking maybe they got the advantage because their big playmaker's not in.
It's going to help us to keep, you know, we're going to be able to put more guys in the box and not have to play as much cover 2 to, you know, to keep Randy Moss at bay.
We can't just fold it up and pack it in just because Randy's not there. You know, it's going to take for other guys to step up. You know, it should be guys licking their chops right now because, you know, they get an opportunity to go in the game and make some big plays for us.
Tice told me that Moss is absolutely crushed that he's not playing tonight and that it'll be 2 or 3 weeks before he's completely healthy, which puts him in jeopardy against both Green Bay and Detroit in upcoming division games. Marcus Robinson, overcoming his own foot injury, will take that role tonight. He'll run a lot of the vertical routes, and he'll be on the field on virtually every play. Mwelde Moore, the running back who's been a rookie sensation, he's out as well tonight with a sprained ankle, so Ontario Smith, coming back from a suspension, will take his role, and Michael Bennett also get a lot of time in the backfield and perhaps also play some at wide receiver. I talked to Tony Dungy. He told me he didn't want his shell-shock defense to be surprised if Moss played tonight, Stuart. So what he did, he had him prepare all week, believing that eventually Moss would show up, even though now he clearly will not. We'll have more on that bad Colts defense coming up.
Thanks a lot, Ed. We'll hear from you throughout the show. Still up, you know Moss and Culpepper got a lot of flavor, but kids got a long way to go to catch these guys. How Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison are on the verge of breaking a huge NFL record tonight in Indy.
I know it's Monday, folks, but buckle up because we're going Sunday driving in Pittsburgh. I'll show you the plays that made the Eagles' perfect record extinct.
Hey, there's a reason we are wearing these fresh suits tonight. Not only am I taking names at my Playmaker Club, but we are handing out the middies. That's right, folks, it's the NFL Midseason Awards.
And don't ask these guys behind me to tell you how many fingers I'm holding up. Believe me, they can't. The 2 words that describe the best hits in the NFL every week, jacked up.
Plus, how the Patriots keep finding new ways to win. Why T.O. was all over Donovan on the sidelines, and the bus has a few choice words for this man right here. Stick around, we ain't going anywhere.
Simply
we take you to the Breeders' Cup World Thoroughbred Championships, where Ghost Zapper dominated the $4 million Classic. Jockey Javier Castellano led the charge as Ghost Zapper cruised to a 3-length victory with a record time of 1 minute 59 seconds.
Monday Night Countdown is delivered by UPS. What can Brown do for you? And in part by State Farm. Find out why more drivers on the road choose State Farm. Call your neighborhood State Farm agent.
Patriots found all kinds of ways to win. I think, like, in their meeting, there's like, all right, what do you guys want to do? Mike Vrabel said, Coach, can I catch a touchdown? Yeah, Mike, go ahead. Yeah, it's cool. Anybody want to throw a touchdown pass?
Yeah, kicker.
Adam, you want to throw one?
Yeah,
all right, you throw one, too. Anybody want to play DB who doesn't usually play DB?
Yeah, Michael Irvin.
Michael Irvin? Troy Brown?
Troy Brown.
Hey, since we're playing the master of the trick formation, why don't we do some trick formation?
That's very interesting who he did it against.
Yeah. did it against Mike Martz. The Steelers did it against the Eagles after they did it against the Patriots. Pittsburgh now the only team ever to defeat 2 straight undefeated teams at least 6-0 in consecutive weeks. And after doing that, Jaws, I guess they deserve to be the Sunday Drop.
Yes, they do. They drove right out of the Fort Pitt Tunnel, right into Heinz Field. Their first 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I want to show you a few of the plays that got them rocking and rolling early at Heinz Field. This play, a 16-yard run by Jerome Bettis. Rumbling, bumbling, stumbling for the big 16, but you got to see it from the end zone camera. Watch Bus. Watch his vision, his patience. He doesn't like that little hole. He doesn't like that little bigger hole. He wants a huge, gaping hole. He wants this one right here between Alan Faneca and Jeff Hardings. So with that vision, he sees that and goes for 16 big ones and makes the Eagles pay the price. The Eagles show blitz on this play. Oh, they do blitz, but it's the end around to Hines Ward. Oh, Hugh Douglas is in perfect position. Not against the athleticism of Hines Ward. He gets around the corner. Look at the blocks by Plaxico Burris and Alan Faneca downfield. And Hines gets in the end zone. 7-0 Steelers. Next drive, Eagles rush 4. Gonna drop 7 into coverage. Beautiful job by Big Ben Roethlisberger extending the play with his movement in the pocket.
Preach,
Gets
Jaws.
to the perimeter.
Preach, Jaws.
Now he's got a running opportunity. No, he's not going to run. Squares his shoulders, delivers the ball to Ferron Haynes, 18 yards. 3rd and 4. Watch this. Now, you'll see Hines Ward come across in motion. Sheldon Brown runs with him. A good pre-snap indicator of man-to-man coverage. Now you got Plax on the top of the screen running the slant. Usually the complementary route is a flat. It is. Hines Ward gets outside of Sheldon Brown, takes it to the house. 14-0 Pittsburgh. I love this screen pass. The quarterback playing a game with the secondary. Looks downfield, draws the rush, drifts back, and dumps it out to Ferron Haynes once again. Faneca, Hardings in front, knocking him down, creating the seam, and he gets down to the 5-yard line. Hey, we got Big Ben. He's mobile, as Tommy said last week. Let's get him out to the edge. Is he going to run? Is he going to pass? Well, we're going to find out, because he sprints to the corner and stops and finds Jay Remersma. 21-0 Pittsburgh. And oh, did the Steelers dominate the Philadelphia Eagles. Not only on offense, but I'll tell you, Dick LeBeau's defense did a fantastic job of containing the Eagles. But the star of the game really was Jerome Bettis. He didn't know till 2 hours and 20 minutes before the game that he was going to start because Deuce Steady was out with a hamstring. 33 rushes, 149 yards. I caught up to him after the game, and he had a few choice words for my esteemed colleague, Michael Irvin.
Now, there are some of my friends over at ESPN, like Michael Irvin, my colleague on Countdown. He said, you know, it might be over for the bus. What's your response to that?
You know what? You know, I heard Mike talking about me, calling me fat boy, all that. Mike, hey, I'm a little chubby, but you got to watch the feet. The feet are still quick, so hey, I need my props. Give me my props, Mike. Stop playing.
JB, I'm trying to give JB his props. Now, you know, JB and I, we have the same tailor. He told me he had to let out some of JB's suit. That's why I brought it to the people, because they have a right to know. Now, JB, also, I know I'm good, but I probably said that 15 minutes before the game. I am not 15 minutes before the game good. You should have been on the field. You shouldn't have heard those comments. That's for sure.
But I want to go back, since we're talking about Jerome Bettis, I want to go back to that running game we talked about before. This team running the ball, the best in the league, stopping the run, the best in the league, and that's what's winning them football games. And when you take a look at these numbers, the last 2 games, 105 carries to 15, 473 yards to 28, 24 first downs rushing to 1, and that time of possession, and that has nothing to do with offense. That time of possession actually means that now, defensively, we probably skipped 2 football games. You're going to keep us fresh down the stretch. So, again, I'm back to running the football. I rest my case. I rest my case.
Okay, and you're right here.
I didn't
you're right in this, but can we give him enough credit? We cannot. He's the reason Pittsburgh is where they are right now. Without Ben Roethlisberger, I don't know that they're 7-1.
Without the running game, without
Roethlisberger's 4th quarter QB rating, 125. Best.
Woo, that's
As for Philadelphia, look,
but JB did do a great job.
He did do a great job. But as for Philadelphia, we all saw the sideline incident. We saw T.O. in Donovan's ear. Now, Michael, they both said that T.O. was just trying to fire up Donovan McNabb, just trying to encourage him. Michael, why is it that sometimes perception is more important than reality?
You know what, and with the situation, T.O. should know that everybody's watching him all the time. I remember talking to T.O. last year, and he was talking about the situation he had in San Francisco. A kicker missed the kick, and he went at the kicker saying, listen, I will get you another shot. You just keep your head in the game. Don't worry about it. And it was wrote the next day that he had been all over the kicker and everything, and he got a lot of bad press, and he felt bad about it. He says the one thing he loves about being in Philly, that he can be himself on the sideline.
But if he feels bad when people make those accusations against him, if he cares what people think, why does he keep doing those things? Wait. Why does he keep doing those things if he knows the camera is on him?
But he's trying to play the game. He's trying to play the game, and right at that point, when we watched yesterday, that football team was losing at the time, and all he's trying to do is encourage Donovan McNabb.
How do you know that? How do you know that?
Because I saw him put his hand on Donovan's shoulder. Trust me, I'm a wide out, and if I'm yelling about the ball a whole lot, I'm not putting my hands on your shoulder. I'm putting my finger in your face. So he put his hand on his shoulder. I believe he was trying to encourage him.
Well, I believe that you're crazy. On your shoulder at the same time I do. Look, I don't really care what it was that he said to Donovan McNabb, what it looked like. And you heard Stu talk about perception. It looked as if Donovan McNabb needed some alone time on the field. Frustrated as well. Frustrated at the fact that they're losing as well, but he needed some alone
in front of 80,000 people watching you and 50 people on the side.
I fumbled the ball in Denver going in from the 6-yard line. I felt alone in the middle of 75,000. It can happen.
We can only assume what was said in the sideline, but we do know this. The next series out after that game, after that discussion, that one-man discussion on the sideline, Donovan threw 2 passes to T.O., both 4-yarders. On 3rd and 4, it was a pass to Westbrook that lost 4 yards. The Eagles punted. The problem I have is Donovan's finding himself getting too much tunnel vision on Terrell Owens. The success of the Eagles historically has been the distribution of the balls to all their receivers, including the tight ends and the backs. And I think if you start focusing on one guy, it's going to hurt the offense.
But you're wrong. You're wrong there, because if they focus, we know who the other guys are.
T.O.'s a great player.
T.O.'s got that part right. The other guys are not able to beat anybody. They had one other receiver make a catch. Pinkston caught one for 10 yards. I agree with T.O. in that. If you don't come to me, then bad things will happen. But bad things will happen.
The receivers are getting open. You got to move the ball around.
All the receivers are getting open in Pittsburgh. Ben Roethlisberger now one of 2 QBs ever, rookie QBs, to start a career 6-0. The other, Mike Kruzek, who now wears his coach's shorts tighter than any other coach's shorts in history. But also, Kruzek didn't throw a touchdown pass when he started 6-0 in 1976. Big Ben Roethlisberger has thrown 11. Still ahead on Monday Night Countdown. Just when you thought things finally hit rock bottom in Big D, the Cowboys take the field again. Who's to blame? The tuna still fishing for answers.
I'm really embarrassed for that kind of performance. I really am. We're too stupid. I can't put anything in their hands. And every time I try to put it in their hands, we screw it up.
First the Yankees, now this. After strong starts for both football teams in the NYC, why the Giants and Jets postseason hopes might soon be buried next to Jimmy Hoffa at the Meadowlands.
Sunday Drive is brought to you by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We take you to the Breeders' Cup World Thoroughbred Championships, where Ghost Zapper dominated the $4 million Classic. Jockey Javier Castellano led the charge as Ghost Zapper cruised to a 3-length victory with a record time of 1 minute 59 seconds. ESPN celebrates Javier Castellano and Ghost Zapper, our athletes of the week.
College football fans, rejoice! Now you can watch over 150 of the best matchups from the best conferences right on your computer. Just log on to ESPN.com and click on the ESPN Game Plan logo. You're on your way to over 150 of the best games. Sign up for a weekly subscription for the entire season. Watch games live, watch games that are archived, or watch the highlights. It's a college football fan's dream come true. Log on to ESPN.com, click on the Game Plan logo, or search Game Plan.
This is ESPN's World Club Top 25. Serie A leaders Juventus continued their strong start to the season with a pair of victories this
Night Countdown, delivered by UPS.
Not good. The torn pec that he suffered yesterday will keep Michael Strahan out for the rest of the season. Strahan had 4 sacks this year, had not missed a game since '95. It's kind of doubly bad because the Giants, their other starting defensive end, Keith Washington, tore his ACL. He's also out for the season. As for the Cowboys, Vinny Testaverde has thrown 6 interceptions his last 2 games, which might be the highlight for Big D. Now, instead of reciting all the whacked-out inefficiency that the stats portray, I'll just read some of Bill Parcells' quotes after Dallas got clocked 26-3 by the Bengals yesterday. He says, quote, "We were poorly prepared, we played poorly. We were inefficient, and we were just awful." Okay, that about sums it up. But you know how sometimes how morning time can make something that was really bad, you know, you wake up, it's not really that bad, you know? Yeah, not this time. George Smith has more.
A day after saying his team was stupid and poorly coached, Bill Parcells had not changed his tune.
I said that we were outcoached and we're not prepared well to play, and we were kind of lethargic in our approach. Now, that was the truth. Now, if you can't take the truth, then you need to get out of the business. I'm not singling out people and say you're this and you're that. I'm just saying collectively we perform with a lack of intelligence. Now, what else you want me to say?
Parcells said he was embarrassed by his team's lethargic performance against the Bengals, just the latest chapter in the team's roller coaster season.
It's the only team I can ever remember having where I just can't get them to respond the right way to situations. So how do you go about fixing it? I don't know. If I knew, I would have fixed it a long time ago.
One solution Parcells is adamant he won't try is benching veteran quarterback Vinny Testaverde in favor of untested rookie Drew Henson.
Well, because I'd be giving a sign to my team that I'm giving up on the season. That's why. If I did that now, I would be giving them a signal, well, okay, we're going on for next year. But why would you, at this point in time, take an unproven guy who has not played football in 3 years and throw him into this with the adversity that he has to face now? That would be the... Now, I don't care whether you like the answer or not. I told you only foolish people would ask the question right now. So I'm not calling you that. I'm just saying, don't ask me to repeat this any longer. It's me off to have to explain it over and over and over. Now write it down so you get it.
The way to handle it is not look over your shoulder. I don't worry about it. If and when the decision is made that Drew or Tony Romo is going to play, and that's the way this team, the direction this team goes in. But until then, you know, I continue to go out and do the best that I can to help this team win football games.
All this stuff's out of my hands. I just, you know, learn from Vinny, you know, prepare each week, and if something happens, it happens.
Known as an extremely tough coach, Parcells says he has not been beating up on his team this season, but instead trying a new approach with encouragement. When asked if he needed to change, Parcells said simply, he didn't know. Stu, back to you.
Thanks a lot, George. Chris Mortensen joins us now for the latest around the league. Mort, with the Cowboys now 3-5, I don't want to ask this because Bill Parcells is going to call me foolish. But
don't ask that.
I'm going to ask you. When will Parcells turn the offense over to Drew Henson?
That's so foolish that you would... Stu, no. Say, Stu, you know what? I think Parcells was being honest today when he said he's going to resist that, because Vinny Testaverde, he also pointed out in that press conference, has thrown for over 2,000 yards. They have a depleted receiving corps. He doesn't think this is the right time for Drew Henson to have any success. The defense is not playing well. And I think it's interesting that I know Bill looks at the big picture all the time. Even though he's not sure they're going to win another game this season, where in the NFC do you see a team that you can say they're a lock for the wild card? Is it the Giants who are reeling? Is it the Lions? Maybe the Packers, yes. But I think he still thinks he might be able to steal a wild card spot. And I think his biggest battle probably will be with Jerry Jones, who may push for Drew Henson. And I think that's the battle that we won't ever hear about.
Thing about Bill, even in the midst of all this, you listen to his quotes and you think that man is just smart. You mentioned the Giants, Mort. Back to them. Kurt Warner yesterday threw 2 picks, lost 2 fumbles, sacked 7 times. How close was Tom Coughlin to putting Eli Manning into the game yesterday?
Well, he admitted he thought about it, but Warner is going to start this week's game against Arizona. But Warner is starting to show some of the same signs that we saw in St. Louis, that in which they became concerned about. He's now lost the football 12 times, 12 fumbles. That's not even to count the interceptions. And so Manning knows, I think that Warner knows he's got to play better. He can't turn it over. Eli Manning almost won that job in the preseason. So I do think if he continues along this path, we're going to see Manning, and we could see him fairly soon. The problem for Tom Coughlin is you lose Mike Strahan, you lose Keith Washington, now your defense is in shambles, and I think you never want any quarterback playing from behind, so Tiki Barber has to be big in their season still.
All right, Mort. Meanwhile, the Jets have some bad news about their QB, Chad Pennington. How long will he be out?
2 to 4 weeks. It's a strained rotator cuff. I think they're a little bit relieved that it wasn't a separated shoulder, but Quincy Carter now gets a chance to play. And the one thing you saw yesterday in Buffalo, Quincy Carter gives them a dimension. He's got some mobility. He got around a blitz yesterday, threw a 51-yard touchdown pass. This is the reason they signed him. This guy threw for over 3,000 yards last year in Dallas. He won 10 games, went to the playoffs, and they say he's doing wonderfully in the substance abuse program. He's keeping clean. His teammates have embraced him. The coaching staff believes in him. So I think we're going to see Quincy play. Problem for Quincy is first game is the Baltimore Ravens.
All right, Mort, we appreciate it. You will have more later on the other injured QB for Marshall, Byron Leftwich, and the Jaguars. Still ahead on Monday Night Countdown, was Randy Moss selfish for playing injured the last 2 weeks? Michael Irvin and Mike Ditka go head-to-head to decide if the Viking star receiver hurt his team. And forget your Emmys, keep your Oscars, take your Tonys somewhere else. Tonight, it's the award show too big for even Billy Crystal to host. It's the Middies. Yeah, we're handing out our NFL midseason awards. You will not want to miss it.
No equipment.
I got a mic and I got a mic. I got a Super Bowl champion, I got a cowboy and a cowboy. I got a Hall of Famer and a Hall of Fame nominee.
Yes, we are a lot alike.
Except for the...
No, we're alike.
Still, right? It's all inside, baby.
Polish.
It's all inside. Randy Moss, after 103 straight games to start his career, finally missing tonight's game with that bad hamstring. But he hurt it a few weeks ago. Should Moss have sat out when he first hurt the hamstring, Coach?
Here's my take on it. Randy Moss is a great competitor. He knew he was hurt. He knew he couldn't play. He wanted to keep the record going. He went on the field. He shouldn't have done it. Now, what's going to happen now, he's probably going to miss another 3 weeks. That's really going to hurt that football team. They need him on the field. I think he made a mistake. But I think the coach made a mistake by setting him down.
But it may not have been all about Randy extending his consecutive games starting. It may have been about them allowing the defense to prepare for Randy, because it's a whole different football team without Randy on that football field. Now, you put Randy on the football field and you move safeties and linebackers, everybody over near Randy, they don't know how healthy he is, and allow the other guys, the Campbells and everybody, and Weldy Moores to run the ball because we have so much manpower geared towards Randy. I don't think Randy hurt himself anymore by playing because he didn't do much.
Yeah, but even a hobbling Randy Moss lined up outside when you can see he's not running.
People don't know he's still... They don't know. They don't know until later on in the game. They've already prepared all week for Randy. They put in defenses to stop Randy. They don't know how well or how healthy he is until it's too late to change some of their defenses.
They knew after 2 plays.
Okay.
He came off the ball 2 plays.
But you still prepared for him all week. You prepared for him, and I made you, you took away some of the time you could have been preparing on other things, and you gave it to Randy, which was a dead issue.
I understand.
All right. You got the Eagles, you got the Steelers, you got the Patriots. Clearly the 3 best teams in the league. Who's the 4th best team?
Well, we disagree on this because we've talked about it, but I'm gonna throw a couple teams out there. I think Denver still has the ability because they can run the ball. I'm not
Denver's
sure about
the 4th best team?
Listen. Wait, I get you with this next one. The next one I say is San Diego.
Man, get him out. Get him out of the chair. He's out of the chair. This is over.
Hey, Breeze is playing great. You got LaDainian Tomlinson. You got the best one of the best tight ends in football. You got McCardle now. The defense is getting better. Pretty good football team out there. Come on.
And you're right. I have to give him credit. It is hard to give San Diego credit. It's hard. But I like Atlanta because anytime Michael Vick's on the football field, I feel I have a chance. And I like Green Bay as long as Green Bay understand that they are a throwing football team. Get the ball to my boy Javon Walker, get the lead, and then hand the ball off to Ahman Green and let him become what Emmett was for our football team, a great finisher. Then Green Bay can play with anybody if they play that style of football.
I will say this, Drew Brees, first Charger quarterback with consecutive at least 4 touchdown pass games since Hall of Famer Dan Fouts.
No, I mean, they're a good football team. They're doing the right thing, Marty. You got to be happy for them, what they're doing. Will they will contend? I don't know, but they got to play Denver a couple times, so we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. We'll see. Mike, we've been on the microphone. Open mic is now closed. Let's open it back up. Ontario Smith returns to the lineup tonight after serving a 4-game suspension. He will get the start. All right, it is time for Hurry Up Offense. Quick questions. We need quick answers. But before that, let's go to Ed Werder with the latest. Ed?
Well, Stu, just as Ontario Smith was becoming the every down back that the Vikings wanted him to be, he got suspended for violating the substance abuse policy. Tonight, he returns for the first time in more than a month. And just talking to Mike Tice, he said, we will be a noticeably different team running the ball tonight. He likes the way he runs inside. And the thing he likes most about Ontario Smith is he brings some of that arrogance that they lose without Randy Moss. Tice told me, hey, this kid will be in the building tonight with Peyton Manning, Edgerrin James, Marvin Harrison, Dante Culpepper, and he'll think he's the best guy on the field all night long. Now, Tice said, we want to establish some rhythm. We're going to try and take advantage of some of the things Colts opponents have done over the recent weeks, throwing the football. He said all that, Stuart, during our on-camera interview. As he was walking out the door, he turned, he smiled, and said, that said, we're running the ball 50 times tonight.
All right, Ed, thanks a lot. I thought Ed had fired.
Wait a minute.
Oh, no.
What did Ed say?
I thought Ed had been fired and he wasn't there. But
let it go, man. We are talking. We're having a whole thing right now.
All right, it is time.
It won't be 50.
Now it's time for Hurry Up Offense. Quick questions, quick answers. No soliloquies, no, let me see. None of that. Number one, who is the Rookie of the Year? 90 seconds on the clock.
Ben Roethlisberger.
Ben Roethlisberger.
Ben Roethlisberger. All right, who is the Coach of the Year?
I still think it's Bill Belichick. I mean, he lost the game. Or Bill Cowher.
Bill Cowher.
Marty Schottenheimer. Who would have thunk with Marty Ball the Chargers would like be?
No soliloquies.
Okay, all right.
I just can't bring my mouth to say Marty. Bill Cowher.
All right. Who is the Defensive Player of the Year?
Ed Reed.
Ed Reed. Ed Reed.
I'll say everything
From the U. Hey, I got to go.
You just following Tom.
Joss.
Javon Curse.
Ed Reed.
Because I want to be different. I want to be different.
What team? What team is the biggest disappointment? Go.
Ooh.
I said no. Ooh.
Kansas City. Kansas City.
I don't even want to say it.
Say it.
Kansas City.
Thank you, Michael.
St. Louis.
Okay. All right.
St. Louis. Man, that's garbage, man.
Whoa.
How do you lose to a Brown?
Whoa. What about Carolina? I'm just saying. Now back up.
Wait.
What individual is the biggest disappointment?
What individual?
What individual?
Kerry Collins with that offense in Oakland.
No.
I'm going to say Jake Delhomme. He hasn't given him a spark they need. Oh, I forgot. I can't say that.
Michael.
Well, that's a good one.
Go to the next question.
Michael, come on.
I don't know anyone.
All right. All right. Are you all sticking with your Super Bowl picks? Let's take a look. We got them.
My picks.
Are you sticking with your picks? Tom?
No.
Really?
I like the Eagles. I just want to put Pittsburgh over the Eagles.
Joss?
No. I'm updating.
I'm the only one with one.
Yo, I'm staying with it. Panthers about to run off 8 straight. Wild card 9 and 7. Colts going. Gotta be loyal, man. Gotta be loyal. Peyton Manning, 22 touchdown passes tonight. Peyton wants to do something he's already done. Do another Monday Night Memory brought to you by IBM.
The defending Super Bowl champions took the field in intimidating fashion, confident in a win. And with nothing going their way, the Colts found themselves trailing by 3 touchdowns. But Peyton Manning refused to give up. With less than 5 minutes remaining, he led his team to one of the greatest comebacks ever.
This is off the charts. You believe in miracles. I think we're getting close.
The Colts scored 21 unanswered points, which led to a game-winning field goal attempt in overtime.
Vander Johnny hits the upright, and it bangs through. What a football game this turned out to be.
Monday Night Memories are brought to you by IBM, the official on-demand business consultants for the NFL.
With Randy Moss down, the Vikings passing game is up in the air. John Madden on why a cooled-off Dante's Inferno still means big trouble for the Colts. Last night a DJ saved my life. Might as well be Dante Culpepper's favorite old disco song. How number 11's biggest protector makes just as much noise off the field as he does on it.
I'm a freestyle veteran. Michael Irvin, I'm better than what?
Yin and Yang wish they were as compatible as these two guys. Why it could be a record-setting night for Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison. The butcher, the baker, the real playmaker. You didn't have a big game till Michael Irvin says you had a big game. The playmakers' playmakers coming up. And it may have been broad daylight, son, but some dudes still seeing stars on Sunday. TJ shows you who got jacked up Week 9 style. College football Thursday night on ESPN, ACC Throwdown. 12th-ranked Florida State heads north to face North Carolina State in Raleigh. Nose and Wolfpack Thursday night, 7:30 Eastern on SportsCenter after ESPN. Chris Mortensen rejoins us now with more news from around the league. Mort, the Jags coming off a bye week. What is the latest on their injured QB, Byron Leftwich?
Well, the doctor took another look at his knee, and it confirmed that it is just a torn or partially torn lateral collateral ligament. It means he's just going to miss 2 games. Now, he may miss the 3rd game, but he has a chance to come back at the end of the month against the Minnesota Vikings. And basically, the swelling was down. They got a good look at it, so they'll fit him with the brace. They'll rehab that knee and hopefully get him back in the field at the end of the month and into December. But they think definitely it'll only be 2 or 3 games. And then David Garrard obviously starts in his spot, and they have some confidence in him.
All right, Mort, coaches on the hot seat halfway through the season, starting in Miami with Dave Wanstead. What is the Dolphins, with the Dolphins entering the bye week, will Wanstead be fired immediately?
No, he will not. In fact, today there was a swarm of media people at the Dolphins complex, and, man, that question almost came out the first thing, and Wanstead actually had a little bit of a laugh. He told the reporters, back off. We gave you free pizza today. So, but the bottom line is Wayne Huizenga likes Dave Wanstead. He's seen Dave average 10 wins a season going into this year. He knows he was dealt a bad hand with Ricky Williams, the injury to David Boston, and basically he's going to let Dave finish out this season unless for some reason he thinks Dave will need some of the pressure off and make a move earlier. But that's the status of that. And, of course, Jim Haslett in New Orleans. Jim is okay for right now, but I can tell you the front office, the owner, Tom Benson, not only blaming the players, clearly blaming the coaching staff as well. But for right now, Haslett is okay.
All right, Mort, Priest Holmes did not play the last 2 series yesterday for the Chiefs. What's going on there?
He got hit directly on the knee, and they're calling it a strained medial collateral ligament. Now, normally a sprained MCL means a 4 to 6 week injury, but they think that Priest will give it a try this week, even though he couldn't cut yesterday. And then they think he actually has a chance. They say he's a different guy. He's a different healer. He has a high pain tolerance. So, in fact, they're going to list him as questionable probably on Wednesday.
All right, well, we appreciate it. When we come back to you later on, we will get the latest on when Randy Moss will return to the Vikings. Thank you, sir. All right, 3 and out, guys. 1 topic, 3 downs. Make it quick, then get off the field. It is the middies.
Middies.
The midseason MVP. Michael, first down.
Hey, let me get straight to it. It is my MVP. This man right here, you knew I was going here. I don't care what you say. T.O., he leads the NFL with 9 TD receptions. Now, Donovan McNabb, 14 TDs this season. Didn't get that last year till after Christmas. And the Eagles' whole wide receiver group last year had 5. T.O. has 9 at this point. The Philadelphia Eagles, #1 team in the NFC because of that dancing fellow right there. T.O., you are my MVP.
My midseason MVP, Dante Culpepper, the Minnesota Vikings. He has done more with less than Peyton Manning, and Peyton Manning will be there as well. But look at Dante, 71% complete, best in the NFL. How's this? 3 5-touchdown pass games. No one's ever done that before in a single season. 20 touchdown passes and only 5 picks.
Third down.
Charles, my MVP is the same as my Rookie of the Year. It's Ben Roethlisberger. He's guiding the best team in football right now, and I would have given him the defensive MVP if he can keep his defense playing only a quarter of a football game every time they go out and play. I'll give him all 3 awards.
Do you know how many rookies have won the MVP award?
Never.
1.
Wow.
You know who it is? It's
I could guess
it's
who
the
it is.
same answer to the question, who do you think is the best football player
It's
ever?
It's Jim Brown.
Jim Brown. Only
Jim
rookie
Brown.
to ever win the MVP award.
There you go.
Best football player ever?
That was a setup for Tommy.
It really was.
Yeah, right.
In the Shanahan era in Denver, 72 100-yard games by 8 different runners. Our man John Madden joins us now from Indy. John, the Vikings are becoming a lot like the Broncos. Doesn't matter who's back there, they're going to go for a buck week in and week out. Why?
Yeah, you know, and part of it is a running back. They have good running backs tonight. We're going to see a lot of Ontario Smith. And it's a good offensive line. But I think the biggest part is Randy Moss. You know, that when you play the Minnesota Vikings, and when he's healthy, you better double cover him on every play. So that takes those safeties out, and they're playing deep, and they kind of let you have some of that run. Randy Moss isn't here tonight, isn't going to play, didn't make the trip. So I think it's going to be a little tougher. I think they're going to see regular run defenses that they don't see when Randy Moss is playing.
All right, John, no Ty Law, no Tyrone Poole facing the high-flying Rams yesterday. How in the world did the Patriots make St. Louis look absolutely silly?
Isn't that something? They just know how to play the game. I mean, that's what always impressed me about the New England Patriots. That you know, some teams have stars all over the place, and the stars play as individuals, and they have dances, and who's dancing, all that thing. But the Patriots just go out and play. They know how to play football. And a guy gets hurt, they just plug another guy in. And then he plays well. And then they lose a defensive back. They take Troy Brown, a wide receiver, put him at defensive back. And I think a big part of it is coaching. A big part of it is organization, getting the right kind of guys. But they just know how to play the game.
They got kickers throwing touchdowns and linebackers catching passes. And they got
whatever
DBs,
it takes.
Whatever it takes. And the water boy, he's going to come out. He's going to play center next week. All right, John, Dallas, 3-5. Bill Parcells is frustrated. He said his team is dumb, said they're not being coached well. Was too much expected of Dallas after last year's playoff run?
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. I mean, last year, Bill Parcells' first year, they come in there, they win 10 games, and they overachieved. And I think because of that overachievement, that brought high expectations for this year. And to be honest, they just don't have that many good players. They aren't that good.
All right, John, teams with 100-yard rushers, 8-0 yesterday. Are we seeing a real return to fundamental, grounded-out, smack-you-in-the-mouth football?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, everyone wants to establish a run. Everyone wants to be balanced. Everyone wants to run so that they can go play action pass. But I found out that usually when you win, you run for 100 yards. I think that's more true of running for 100 yards to win. That you know, at the end of the game in that fourth quarter, running is a heck of a lot easier. And if you had the lead in the fourth quarter, that's when you can get a whole bunch of those 100 yards.
John, if I'm going to guess the final score of tonight's game, if I said like 7-3, you think I'd be off?
Yeah, you'd be way off. Put a 0 on the end of each one of those things, and you'd be closer, I think.
Hey, John, go look for some defense. I'll go look on my end, all right?
Okay, I'm going to look under this carpet.
All Madden, brought to you by T-Mobile. Get more minutes, more features, more service.
Still up, if Randy Moss can't find a way to go on a Monday night against the Colts, then he must be really hurt. What the Vikings will need to do tonight to win without their #1 option. And it may look like he's trying to land a plane, but Peyton is really just running his offense his way. How the Manning hand jive keeps his coach greased like a fine-tuned engine. Born to hand jive, baby.
I'm Marty Reed, and this is another U.S. Nationals memory. 1967, after...
Welcome back to Monday Night Countdown, delivered by UPS.
Welcome back to Monday Night Countdown here in Indianapolis, where Peyton Manning has just come out to warm up in uniform. It was supposed to be a perfect situation, a great quarterback paired up with a defensive-minded head coach. And while Manning has certainly done his part, his performance is no longer enough to determine the outcome of Colts games, and that's because head coach Tony Dungy's been unable to get the league's worst defense to perform. They've lost their last 2 games because they've allowed 72 points and 1,004 yards.
And when your team scores 35 points, you don't expect to lose that game.
I feel like we let them down. I know I take a lot of responsibility for that.
The things where you hear, well, we don't have the talent, or we don't have the ability, or all of a sudden Tony's scheme doesn't work. You know, to me, that's just ridiculous.
It's a little, you know, exciting just to see the tapes and see how they play.
I'd say the eyes open up a little bit, you know, once you look at a team that didn't give up the yards that they didn't give up over the last few weeks.
Mentally, you know, we may not be there all the time because, like I said, you keep on piling new stuff probably, and it keeps on building up from one mistake to another and to another.
Dungy told me that he needed that extra day to prepare after his team was so demoralized after his performance in Kansas City. He also acknowledged that he talked to Manning this week and told him not to become disillusioned and not, Stewart, to let what's happened on defense affect the way he operates the offense.
Their offense has suffered since Randy Moss was injured in the second quarter at New Orleans. 18 quarters with the healthy Moss, the Vikings had 16 touchdown passes.
Jeez.
Half of them going to Moss.
Well, I think that when you look, when you look at those numbers, here's what you see. It's the threat of Randy Moss. It's not necessarily Randy Moss. It's the threat of Randy Moss. When he's on the football field, he gets the double teams. The safeties have to stay back because you might get beat deep by Randy Moss. They can't play in run support. So maybe the Colts defense gets a break tonight just because they know Randy Moss not going to be on the football field.
And when Randy leaves the football field, Tom, you see the other receivers, they start struggling. Why? Because the people that we used to put on Randy, now it's their birthday. We'll put top cornerbacks on those guys, and those guys, there's a reason they are considered #2 receivers because they can't beat the top cornerbacks. They put everybody on the line of scrimmage. Without Randy, it makes it tough on not only other receivers, but also the running game.
But Michael, you look at his Colts defense. They are really struggling, particularly in the secondary. You know, there's no quick fix. There's no exotic scheme that Tony Dungy and Ron Meeks, the defensive coordinator, are going to put in this week. You just can't do it. But what they must do is play fundamentally sound defense, keep everything in front of them. And they do have one playmaker. They do have one impact football player, and that is Dwight Freeney. When Dwight Freeney was drafted, he was brought in to put pressure on the quarterback off the edge. 4 games in the Dome like they are going to be playing tonight. It's absolutely critical that Dwight Freeney come up with a big game and think sack in this game. Don't think run, think putting pressure on Dante Culpepper.
Yeah, but you know what? Dwight Freeney, every team knows that. Dwight Freeney is the one guy that you might have pressure from that defensive front. They manage to chip him. They bring the H-back across. They're going to do things to keep him from being the guy who changes the game. Let's go. Dante Culpepper getting prepared to play tonight. 20 touchdown passes on the season, 2nd in the NFL. We'll be back.
ESPN Sport Legends presents Chris Evert. Chris Evert burst onto the tennis scene as a 16-year-old, but her demeanor on the court was far more mature.
They dubbed me Little Miss Icicle, Little Miss Cool.
She hated that because she says, well, I am emotional. I do feel. On the court, she's a different story.
She said to me, it wasn't me. It wasn't how I was. It wasn't who I was.
Over the portal that leads out from the women's locker room and the main club at Wimbledon out onto center court is part of the Kipling poem, If you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those 2 imposters just the same. It's the last thing they see before they step on court for a Wimbledon championship. And I've always campaigned to put Chris Everett's picture next to it because I don't know of anyone in the game of tennis that lived up to Kipling's challenge better than Chris Evert.
No equipment needed. Only your hands and your heart. And according to the outcome, you will live 3 minutes of hell. Or 3 minutes of glory. Friday Night Fights on ESPN.
Who will prevail in the African Champions League semi-finals, and will it be an all-Tunisian final? Join Tommy Smith, Janusz Mihalik and me for the next edition of ESPN SoccerNet Press Pass on Friday, right here on ESPN.
Get ready for some fireworks when two of the game's elite quarterbacks meet in Indianapolis. After last week's stunning losses, it will be no holds barred for these great offensive teams. Vikings, Colts, live tonight on ESPN. We take you to the Breeders' Cup World Thoroughbred Championships, where Ghost Zapper dominated the $4 million Classic. Jockey Javier Castellano led the charge as Ghost Zapper cruised to a 3-length victory with a record time of 1 minute 59 seconds. ESPN celebrates Javier Castellano and Ghost Zapper, our athletes of the week.
We wanted you to check out Marvin Harrison up close with the Visa Skycam shot and tell you, with 2 catches, he'll reach 800 career catches in 131st career game. That's the fastest in NFL history. Chris Mortensen rejoins us now. Mort, let's talk about tonight's game. How can Minnesota survive without Randy Moss in the lineup?
Well, they're going to do it with a lot of 2 tight end formations. They think they have one of the best offensive lines in football and a lot of Ontario Smith. But as far as this Moss injury goes, just to go back to it, I talked to Mike Tice, the Vikings coach, today, and the one thing he said, and I think he feels bad about, is that they let Randy Moss basically tell them how they should play him. Moss told the training staff, the medical staff, that he knows his own body, that he knew that he would be back from this thing soon, that he wasn't seriously injured, and it's not a serious injury, but it's going to cost him tonight's game, and it's going to cost him 2 big divisional games against the Packers and the Lions. There's no way Randy Moss is playing this coming Sunday against the Green Bay Packers.
All right, Mort, meanwhile, we've talked about the problems with the Colts defense. Now, what do the Colts offensive players think when they're scoring 50 bajillion points? What do they think about their defense that's allowing 50 bajillion?
Well, let's talk Peyton Manning. You know, you heard Ed Werder talk about the meeting between Tony Dungy and Peyton Manning. Well, one thing Manning did, he knows that the offense can help the defense. He's not interested in breaking Dan Marino's records. He's interested in building a championship team. The Colts right now, offense is only averaging 27.5 minutes in time of possession. So what Manning told Tony Dungy, we can help our defense. Well, we need to be more balanced. In other words, we need to run the ball more ball control offense and try to reverse that and keep the defense off the field for at least 5 more minutes. So Peyton Manning clearly has made the move in this direction. We'll see if it happens tonight.
All right, Mort, the NFL made a deal today with some of its TV partners. What does that mean for the league and its fans?
Well, I think the most interesting part of this TV deal is it's starting to come to fruition here. CBS and Fox retain the Sunday afternoon packages to the tune of $8 billion over 6 years, starting in 2006. But there, that second part, flexible scheduling for Monday Night Football over the last 7 games. And then an interesting note, the post-Thanksgiving schedule, they're going to try and auction this off to a cable bidder for Thursday night and Saturday night primetime games, and if they don't auction that off, then the Sunday, Monday night package may get regional television. And obviously, DirecTV, $3.5 billion more. Stu, that's $11.5 billion right now committed over 2 fewer years than the last deal. And the Sunday night and Monday night and maybe the Thursday night, Saturday night primetime packages, not even on the table. The salary cap is going up in 2006.
Well, we have been a big part of that, and we will let you all know that ESPN and ABC continue discussions with the NFL on both the Sunday night and Monday night packages. Thanks, Mort. We appreciate it. We will see you, man.
All right, Stu.
Give me a little bit of hip-hop flavor. He is McKinney, not skinny, no way a mini, keeping Dante safe from the many that want to beat down the Vikings. Seems like everything is a crazy scene, all day trying to be like McKinney. Bryant McKinney, that is, the guy nobody wanted. Remember the 2002 draft? Vikings wanted to draft O-lineman Ryan Sims, but were late to the podium and had to settle for McKinney, who's quickly becoming a team leader, whether it's off-season work as a DJ or hosting what you just heard, Freestyle Fridays. As Alex Flanagan found out backstage, music is McKinney's passion.
Uh-oh, somebody better tell this boy. I'm a freestyle veteran. Michael Irvin, I'm better than. What? Yeah, turn me up.
All right, so who are some of the rappers that you count as friends?
Sandy Pepper from Salt and Pepper. She's a good friend of mine. Of course, Trick Daddy and Trina, you gotta represent Miami. Jackie O, Jay-Z, Ja Rule, I met a lot of them actually just being in Miami, and my Uncle Wes used to bring like Jay-Z and Puffy to our games when we were at the University of Miami.
All right, so you say your music career started at the University of Miami, but I have some information that it actually started in high school when you were in the marching band.
Yeah, actually, I was in the band 1 year for.
Okay, but wait, so you didn't play football your first couple years in high school. You instead, 6'8", you were out on the field in the marching band.
Shorter. I was about 6'6". I was still tall, about 6'6". Yeah, that's where I actually really started with the music thing.
How much does rap draw on your life experiences?
Rap, actually, I think there's a lot. Music in general, just because some of the things that people are singing and rapping about are things that you might have went through yourself, so you might use it as some type of therapy, you know what I mean, to get over whatever's going on in your life. Or sometimes, like, a lot of athletes, they listen to rap music to get them pumped up before a game, so.
Freestyle Friday! I chop rocks, so I'm back on the block. These haters wanna take my spot, yo, they out of their mind.
We use it in the locker room. Every Friday, last year we used to have Freestyle Friday. It kind of brought us together more because we were so anxious to get in there and just compete against each other and just listen, just out of fun.
On the camera. Be careful, because I use my moves in both NBA streets. I'm like Jordan.
Any thoughts of maybe doing an album of your own with the Vikings?
I don't want anybody to take our idea, because this is what we said we're going to do. When we go to the Super Bowl, we're going to redo the Super Bowl Shuffle. We're going to get a lot of guys on the team that can rap. Now, if anybody else redo the Super Bowl Shuffle, it's because you've seen this show and you took our idea.
Last year around this same time, after this same game against the Giants, after a 6-0 start, the Vikings started to slide. Critics are saying this could be the start of the slide. Is it?
No, I don't think so. I don't know why they think like history will repeat itself, especially that soon, like the year later. It's not the same team as last year's team. I was just really shocked how our offense, we really just didn't quite get it going. And I think we might have needed that to spark something.
Dante's had so much success this season. How much do you think you're responsible for his success?
I think we just give him comfort. I think that helps him out a lot. Him having confidence in me, because my guy be the one to really just knock the mess out of him because his back is turned. So by me, you know, holding up my end of the bargain, he's gonna hold up his end and make some big plays happen for us.
Bryant McKinney from DU, Edgerrin James from DU. Colts 29-6 when Edge rushes for 100 yards. And Michael Irvin, who got his suit UPS from his wife overnight, also from DU. And looking clean.
Can I have this microphone, please? And let me give one more guy from the U a little credit. Clint Portis. Great game yesterday. You almost got in, but I need a touchdown. Folks, let's get to the tape. These are my 5 playmakers. And I want to start with number 5. That's right. His name is Brian Greasy. And he's reminding me a lot of Goldilocks. He went to Denver. He said, it's too cold. Went to Miami. He said, it's too hot. Hey, but Tampa Bay is just right. 22 completions, 296 yards, 2 TDs. Brian, way to go. My number 4. This guy, hey man, this guy, defensive player of the year right now, Ed Reed, returning this interception, 106 yards. He is also from DU. You just give it up, Ed Reed. What a great year you are having, Ed. Number 3, Willis McGahee. I didn't make it. It just fell like this, fellas. It just fell like this. But most of the guys that come from the U, even injured, are better than mostly everybody else anyway. Hey, Willis McGahee ran the ball well yesterday, 132 yards. He's the spark the Bills needed. Big fella Jerome, I don't know why you're messing with me. I was just trying to get you motivated. And guess what, big fella? It worked. 149 yards, big fella. Come on, man. Look at that. Look at I'm looking at the feet, big fella. I'm looking at the feet. You are my number 2 playmaker. My number 1 playmaker is Alexander, Sean Alexander. Yes, Alexander the Great. And right now, he is only trying to conquer the bank because it's his contract year. Alexander the Great running the ball for 160 yards. Sean Alexander, way to go. You are my number 1 playmaker. Great job, boys.
Thank you, Michael. Vikings center Matt Burke did not go to DU. He went to Harvard. Excuse me, he went to Harvard. He earned an economics degree, which means he's smart. He used to give stock tips to a local radio station. He's also a little eccentric. He wears the same T-shirt every day of training camp. Among his jobs that he's had, caddy, movie theater ticket taker, member of a bathroom cleaning crew, all that before he played pro football. His dream job, professional bass fisherman. Of course, in his spare time, he studies film on Inside Slant.
When I began watching film on the Colts for Monday night, I would start off with the base defenses, kind of get a feel for what defenses the Colts like to play. Teams are going to try two ways to get pressure on the quarterback. One is to dog or to blitz, where you're bringing more than just the 4 defensive linemen to rush the passer. It can be linebackers or defensive backs. And the other way is to do these line games or stunts or twists, where 2 defensive players exchange positions once the ball is snapped. You can see the center sitting to the right here, and they're running what we call a TT, where the tackles are exchanging sides. This guy's the penetrator. The guy coming over the top is what we call the looper. This guy right here is the penetrator because he's coming first. He's not necessarily trying to get to the quarterback. What he's trying to do is disrupt things in here. So he comes and he knocks the center off. The center kind of gets turned a little bit. When he comes back to try to get the penetrator, he can't do it because he's got his shoulders turned.
Let's do what we do best. Let's do what we do best.
Anytime you're dealing with a team that likes to twist and stun a lot like the Colts do, as an offensive lineman, you've got to stay fundamentally sound. Center does a nice job here. As soon as he feels he's not really rushing upfield hard, he smells the stunt. He does a nice job of coming back in and taking over the penetrator. And that's why it's important. Keep your shoulders square, stay firm, so then you can pass this off and basically defeat the stunt. This right here, we call this a Tampa stunt. Tony Dungy basically invented it down in Tampa, and you see a lot of teams running it now. Basically what the Tampa stunt is the line all stunts one way, and then they bring, in this case, the Mike linebacker, which is the middle linebacker, and the Sam linebacker, which is the strong side linebacker, kind of wrapping around the edge. What they're trying to accomplish defensively is bringing more guys than you can block. The Sam linebackers usually back off the ball. He's up on the line, and this safety's coming down here. Well, this safety's coming down because they're going to blitz these guys, and he's going to cover the tight end.
Come on, baby. Come on. Just got to believe, huh? Put one together. That's it.
The thing about blitzing is when they're blitzing these extra guys to try to get to the quarterback, that means that you've got single coverage on your wide receivers. If you pick up the blitz and give our quarterback time, usually he can create big plays with our wide receivers.
Looks for Moss, near side, he's wide open. Touchdown, Vikings!
We're going to be playing on the road at Indianapolis on Monday night. It's our job offensively to prevent big plays for their defense, and ultimately your job as an offense is to score.
Oh, man, we just need one drive, just one drive.
Sometimes you score in one play, sometimes it takes you 20 plays.
10-yard wars. Series of 10-yard wars.
You hear the term, take it one play at a time. What we like to say is, take it 10 yards at a time, or it's a 10-yard war. We're trying to get 10 yards, they're trying to stop us. You might have a play where a guy beats you and it's a no gain or it's a negative yardage play, whatever. He might win that play. What you want to do is come back the next play and the next play and defeat your man and get that first down. I guess a better term would be a 10-yard battle. And you keep trying to win those battles, keep getting first downs, and eventually you'll score and then you win the war.
Peyton Manning, the only QB ever to throw for 3,000 yards his first 6 NFL seasons. But if you wonder what makes him so effective, how he does it with Marvin, you will not wait to see our demo segment. It is coming. Stick around.
Playmakers, brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Get the door. It's Domino's.
Catch all the exciting, hard-hitting action of NFL American football all season long on ESPN.
Welcome back to Monday Night Countdown, delivered by UPS.
Welcome back to Monday Night Countdown here in Indianapolis. Dante Culpepper coming off his worst game of the season. Just talked to Mike Tice, his head coach. He said his key point of emphasis with Culpepper is to be patient. If the Vikings get behind early, he said Don't panic and try to get it all back in one series. As for Tony Dungy, he's worried about his defenders being surprised by Culpepper's unusual size. He's only 4 pounds lighter than defensive end Dwight Freeney. Jaws, he's went back and looked at that Philadelphia Monday night game in week 2 and noted that Eagles defenders got their hands on Culpepper 21 times and only got him to the ground 3 times.
Well, he certainly is a hard guy to bring down, Ed, but the one guy that I'm going to talk about is going to be Peyton Manning. He certainly has had a terrific season. And, you know, through the years, we've all watched special quarterback wide receiver tandems. You think of John Unitas to Raymond Berry, Joe Montana to Jerry Rice, Troy Aikman to our colleague Michael Irvin. There was always something special, that chemistry, that esprit de corps. And every Tuesday when I go in NFL Films and plug in a tape of the Indianapolis Colts, I see Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison always doing something special. It's the third quarter, and the Colts are down by 17. On 1st and 10, the Colts throw the ball off their staple run action. At the top of the screen, that's Marvin Harrison. In this formation, Harrison is aligned 2 yards off the line of scrimmage. That allows him to avoid any type of jam, and he can run clean into his route. This is why the stretch action is so effective. Look at how the run fake freezes all 3 linebackers. And with Harrison clean into the secondary, the safety is put in a bind. There is 15 yards between him and the closest underneath defender. But we have to go to the end zone angle to see why this particular play is so unique. After coming off the play fake, Manning sees Harrison running his route at the deep safety. Look at when Manning decides to throw this ball. Harrison has yet to make his stick to the outside. This type of chemistry is rare, even at the professional level. The ball is 5 yards from Harrison before he even gets his head around. This is the definition of timing and anticipation. And in their 7th year together, this is the secret to Manning and Harrison's success. I'm now at the Playmaking Made Easy demo field, and wide receivers, not only Marvin Harrison, love to play with Peyton Manning. You look at Reggie Wayne, you look at Brandon Stokely, Marcus Pollard, Dallas Clark. They love Manning because of the anticipation and timing. And you know why? Because they don't take the hits. They catch the ball in space, and they get yards after the catch. And a lot of their big plays come off the stretch run action passing game, Stu.
I think Marvin likes it a little bit better than the other wideouts. Peyton and Marvin have hooked up for 660 completions, 4 shy of owning the record for teammates. What makes these 2 guys so effective, Joss?
It is that stretch run action that takes advantage of a very aggressive defense. And let's show it. You be
Let's show it how it works.
Your cornerback.
All right.
You be Marvin Harrison, like us.
I'll be number 88.
And of course, Tommy's going to be the stud linebacker. All right. Now, let's give our viewers exactly what the stretch action is. It's trying to get edge to the outside. But if you don't give it the edge, you show the ball. Ooh. And by showing the ball, and Peyton does a great job of this, the corner's peering into the backfield. The
linebackers
looking at him, and all of a sudden, receiver is over the top in that space beyond the linebacker and beyond the corner, and that's when the big plays
when those guys
in there.
With that linebacker peering in the backfield, and you not getting a chuck on the wide receiver, that's a jam on the wide receiver, that means I'm going as fast as I can down on a safety. And Marvin Harrison or any top wide receiver in this league, going down on the safety, the wide receiver wins that battle.
Well, let's show you what the defense should be doing. You watch these linebackers, and they are, as Jaws said, peering into the backfield instead of reading the offensive line. If you read the offensive line, you get your pass block read. Now you can get more depth. You combine that with the chuck that I get from the corner on the wide receiver. Now we have done 2 things. Number 1, we have slowed down the wide receiver here. You get the chuck by the corner. Marvin Harrison doesn't get a chance to get as deep. I'm not looking into the backfield. I know it's pass, so now I get more depth as a linebacker, and I get less cushion between myself and the safeties and make that a much tougher throw for Peyton Manning.
And I cannot keep running and keep running and keep running because there's a clock in my head that says my quarterback is in trouble. Get out of this route. So I get out of the route, and Tom, like you said, if you take the proper depth, you're right in my way.
You know, held up, short route is a common rule. And I'll tell you get that linebacker deep buzz, you get that corner dropping back, smaller window for Peyton to throw into.
As I told you, 660 completions with Peyton and Marvin. The NFL record, Jim Kelly and Andre Reed, 663. Ooh. It took Jim and Andre 11 years to get there. Peyton and Marvin, 667 years.
Playmaking made easy. Brought to you by Staples. That was easy.
Viking safety Corey Chavis, career-high 8 picks last year, but he also can rock the wood. 49 tackles this season. You want to see him, hear him, feel him? Corey Chavis, mic'd up in soundtracks.
Let's see what we're made of.
I can't wait to get out here. I can't wait to get out here. Let's go, man. Let's go, man. Hey, we got 2 sacks tonight. 2 sacks. You got 2 picks. Yes, sir. Let's do it. Hey, me and you, Doc. Let's do this. Touchdown, first series of the game. Make it happen. It's coming. Alert bullets. Alert bullets. Bullets. Hey, Winfield. You might be able to get a pick on this.
McAllister out of the backfield, empty backfield, 2 receivers left. Brooks back to pass. Hoban's all over him, fires to the right. It's intercepted. And tearing up the field for the Minnesota Vikings to the 50 is Antoine Winfield.
Yeah! Twan! Yeah, no! I love you, boy! Good job! Good job, y'all! Good job! Good job! Y'all both!
Straight eye, Culpepper back to pass, fires left, caught, touchdown, Jermaine Wiggins.
Oh, Wiggins! That nigga ballin' it! Yes, sir! Yes, sir! Yes, sir! Yes, sir! All right, let's get another pick. All right? Every possession, try to get a pick. Big play! Big play! Big play! Big play! Big play!
Culpepper takes the snap out of the shotgun. Deep, right side, Moss into double coverage, caught, touchdown. What a wonderful grab by Moss.
Oh, my. Oh, my goodness. What a catch. Woo. Hey, that boy make it look easy. That boy make it look easy. That boy make it look easy right there. Hey, Bird, good job, boy. Hey, Marcus, good job. Good job, Pep. Pep, give me a little roll. Give me a little roll. Roll on there. Yeah. Hey.
We got much respect for Corey Chavis, and we got much respect for the fellas who bring the wood. You saw Corey hit somebody. We got some big hits coming up. Don't move.
Monday Night Countdown is delivered by UPS. What can Brown do for you? And in part by eBay. eBay, the power of all of us. And T-Mobile. Get more minutes, more features, more service. Jacked Up. Brought to you by the all-new 2005 Dodge Dakota. Log on to espn.com and vote for who you think got jacked up.
We're going to begin week 9 of Jacked Up on special teams, where some of the best hits come from. We got Rashard Lee going to be hit by Kenny Watson of the Eagles. Cowboys, Bengals, watch another replay of it.